This season for TV series have already ended, and official final dates have been announced for 2 more. As the end of the year approaches, this number is expected to increase further. Many productions failed to meet expectations, and their ratings remained below the 4-point threshold. Currently, at least 8 more series carry a high risk of cancellation, and many are expected to end soon. It remains to be seen which of these projects will manage to continue into the new year. Let's take a look at the rating results for the week of November 17-23. You can subscribe to the channel to stay updated on the latest developments. Uzakşehir continues to be the most popular production of the past 2 seasons, surpassing 17% in the total category and breaking a new season record this week. Even the recap episode achieved a 10% rating, outperforming almost all of its competitors. With such performance, Uzakşehir appears to have secured not only a 3rd season, but potentially a 4th one as well. Despite such a strong rival, Cennetin Çocukları is still showing noteworthy performance. The series is close to reaching the 5% band in both categories and seems to have found a stable trend. Being a TRT1 production, it does not face an early final risk, and this consistency is likely to extend its longevity. On Tuesday, however, the competition fluctuates heavily. Rankings change constantly, and none of the 5 shows airing that day have consistently passed the 4 rating mark. This week's winner was Mehmet Fetihler Sultanı, which leads in both categories. With its strong performance and TRT1 backing, it is expected to stay on air at least until the end of the season. Kızılcık showed a surprising rise at the beginning of November, surpassing 4% in total and 5% in the off category. However, it failed to maintain this momentum and declined again. Although there was a slight increase this week, current ratings are still not sufficient. If the decline continues, the final process may accelerate. Meanwhile, Cennetin has joined the cast. He will appear in the episode airing on December 2nd. Another series this season, Kral Kaybederse, has officially received its final date. The show will end with episode 30 on December 9th, a conclusion that had been expected for a long time. Despite declining ratings in season 2, its success in the first season allowed it to secure enough broadcast time to complete its story properly. Bahar currently maintains around 3% in total and 4% in the off category, ratings that remain quite low. Yet in its first season, Bahar was one of the most popular productions of the broadcast period, scoring some of the highest ratings across TV. Even at the beginning of season 2, its performance was strong. But the main storyline has been consumed, and viewer interest has noticeably decreased. Although its final date is not yet set, Show TV lacks a stronger replacement, so the channel appears willing to keep the series on air for a while longer. Karadeniz once dominated Tuesday nights, but in recent weeks it has entered a clear downward trend and now ranks last for the day. It seems likely that ATV will announce its cancellation soon, following similar decisions for AGK Vegagyats and Aynadaki Bank. This would allow the channel to replace it with a stronger project. For example, the OVV series. On Wednesdays, Rüya leads by a large margin. The show is 3 points ahead of its nearest competitor, Sahipsizler. The gap between it and Orhan, which was expected to be its main rival, has grown to 4 points. The much stronger storyline of season 2 shows that the narrative has been constructed well and continues to attract more attention. The series also has strong names behind the scenes. Writer FM, Zikic, and director Aluk Bayraktar, known for hit productions like Ezel, Karadeniz, and Isaride, are part of the team. Sahipsizler continues to score above 5% in total and has a loyal audience that remains unaffected by competition, but its chances of reaching the end of the season are therefore quite high. Another interesting case this season is Orhan. The series premiered on October 29th with a solid rating of 4.95 under normal circumstances. This would be considered a strong start, but expectations for this project were much higher. The concerning part is that by the 4th episode, the show was already following a downward trend. This is alarming, especially for a historical series with high production costs. Such ratings would be risky even for a normal drama, let alone a major production. For instance, Çocukları, despite low ratings in its first season, continued thanks to Turk1's supportive programming policy. Over time, it gained a large audience and its ratings climbed as high as 18%. This momentum helped Kuruluş receive strong interest for years. However, it appears that this format no longer attracts viewers the way it used to. Moreover, since Orhan airs on a private channel, its rating performance is even more critical. This week, a new series joined Wednesday's lineup, Sakıncalı, starring Salih Badenci and Gözyaşı. Although its broadcast day was initially announced as Monday, this plan was changed, likely due to the risk of competing against Uzakşehir. Sakıncalı premiered with a 3.06 rating in total. Its performance in the off category was slightly better, suggesting that the show may appeal more to that demographic. Since Wednesday lacks fierce competition outside Rüya, if the story attracts interest, ratings could rise. The second episode will clarify the direction of the show. On Thursdays, Köklerin continues to maintain a solid audience, averaging around 7%. It ranks 5th in the weekly ratings and is currently now TV's most popular series. Its competitor, VeliSa, had dropped below 4% last week, but has slightly recovered. However, any series staying in the 4 to 5% band is always at risk. A small fluctuation or a new competitor can cause a serious impact. But for now, as Show TV's second most watched series, it continues confidently. On Friday, we witnessed the rise of a new phenomenon. Taşıyacak Deniz reached 14.77% in total and 13.68% in the off category, marking one of the season's most striking increases. It is now approaching Uzakşehir's ratings in the weekly rankings. Predictions that TV ratings would decline due to streaming platforms were proven wrong by these two productions, Uzakşehir and Taşıyacak Deniz, for years. No TV series had reached such levels. But this season, we have two major hits. The writers of Karadeniz managed to deliver another huge success, meeting expectations once again. Meanwhile, Şerbeti, which suffered notable cast departures, can no longer maintain its old performance. Competing against such strong rivals makes things even more difficult for it. Still, maintaining around 6% and keeping a stable audience is significant, especially for a show in its fourth season. Arka Sokaklar experienced a slight decline as well, but its 5.34% rating is still strong enough to ensure its continuation. Just like Friday, Saturday also saw a major shift. Güller surpassed 8% in total, becoming one of the season's standout new series. Ranking 4th in the weekly list, it may easily maintain these strong numbers if the storyline continues to attract viewers. Cennetin, despite its new rivals' rise, increased by 1 point this week to reach 6.56% and remains a major player in the competition. The weakest performance of the day came from Lemon, like Aynadaki. It is also expected to end soon, although it scores above 4% in the off category. Its total ratings are very low, making long-term broadcast unlikely. In Sunday's competition, Cennetin's new series Çocukları drew attention with very low ratings, far below expectations. This early disappointment is pushing the project toward a quick finale. It has already been announced that the show will end with episode 5. It premiered weekly and quickly underwent changes in both writer and director. But as the ratings dropped even further, these changes made little difference. Despite its production quality, promotional efforts, and popular lead actor, the series failed to attract interest, even though strong international sales were initially expected. The Sunday leader, Taşıyacak, continues its successful run. With a 7.34% total rating, it not only became the day's most watched show, but also ranked 6th in the weekly chart. Sokaklar had fallen below 4% last week, reaching a critical level. But this week, it rebounded significantly. Whether this increase is temporary or permanent will become clear in the coming weeks. The show still hasn't matched the ratings of its first episode, indicating that the story drew initial curiosity, but failed to maintain interest. Kaybederse fell below 3%, dropping to 2.80, making it one of the most likely shows to end soon. Looking at the general picture, Çocukları and Kral Kaybederse already have confirmed final decisions. Lemon and Kaybederse, both below 3%, are also expected to end soon. Gözleri Karadeniz, Bahar, and Köklerin remain in a critical range around 3 to 4%. It is unlikely that they will make it to the end of the season. Their future will depend on how their performance continues. Sokaklar, Kuruluş, Orhan, and VeliSa, which fluctuate between 4 to 5%, also stand on risky ground. At best, they may avoid an early finale, but their continuation is uncertain.